Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing today? Everybody doing all right? I don't know if y'all can see what's happening outside, but here on my side of the planet, it is snowing. You know what I'm saying? And just a couple of weeks late. I mean, it would have been nice to have it during Christmas time, but it is what it is. You get it when you get it, and you don't throw a fit. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, everybody. Oh, yeah. Good morning, Mr. Gary. Jeremiah, good morning. Alexis, good morning. Miss Kelly, good morning. April, good morning. Miss Nicole, good morning. Miss Kiki, good morning. Bree, good morning. Miss DeWanda, good morning, ma'am. Serenity Smith, good morning. Saray, good morning. Princess, good morning. Lene, squad, good morning. Makaya, good morning. Thank you guys for joining in today on this snowy Sunday. All right. But I'm glad that you guys have joined us today. We're going to have an amazing time. We're going to dive into week number 2 of our series. It's personal. All right. And what we're going to be doing is just kind of building. It's a 5-week series. And we're going to just be adding just another layer of what it looks like to be personal. All right. And, just like we talked about last week, a relationship with Jesus is always personal. That's just who Jesus was. He was a personal person. Does that make sense? He was just personal, right? And we serve a personal God, right? And so we're just going to be adding another layer of personalness, if you will. Good morning, Miss Stormy in the other room. How are you? We're excited about today, and today's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. We're excited about today. Listen, if this is your very first time watching us, we're so glad that you guys joined us. My name is Reverend Dr. Phil Galindo. You can call me Uncle Phil. You can call me Pastor Phil. You can call me whatever you want to call me, as long as it's all right. But anyway, I'm so excited to be here today, and thank you guys for joining us. If this is your first time, do us a quick favor, if you would, please, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that you guys know when we go live each and every week. Now, this week, I want to, it's not snowing in Prosper. What? See, I don't know. It's snowing pretty good right here, right now, in Mansfield, Texas. It's snowing. It's not snowing in Frisco either. Wow. Well, it's snowing over here. I'm telling you, it's coming down. There was an old song. It's coming down, down, down. It's coming down. Oh, the glory of the Lord is coming down. Yeah, it's snowing. It's coming down. Like, I don't know if it'll stick or not, but it's coming down. It's coming down. So anyway, guys, before we get started, it's not in Plano either. I don't know. Y'all must not be living right. I don't know what's going on, but we getting some snow. No, I'm just playing. We're getting snow right here. Nothing in Irving, Texas either. Like, Irving is fairly close. It's like the middle between where I'm at and Frisco, Prosper, Salina, all of those. So that's interesting. It's snowing over here. I'm telling you, it's snowing. Y'all probably don't believe me. I'm not going to change the channel, but I'm not going to move the camera. But it's snowing. Just take my word for it. It is snowing. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll send you a video after this. All right, nothing in Fort Worth either. Fort Worth is like right around the corner. That's crazy. That's crazy. Kiera, hey, good morning. Potter's House Fort Worth family in the building. Thank you for joining. We love you guys. Thank you for joining, being a part of this online experience with us. All right, guys. So this is what I want to do. I want to dive into a game real quick, if we can. The game is called, are you guys ready? It's called New or Nah. New or Nah. Very simple. The rules go as followed. Nothing in Aubrey either. Wow, it's snowing. I'm telling you, it's snowing right now. Decide whether the New Year's resolution on the screen is something that you could keep for an entire year. All right? So decide whether the New Year's resolution that is going to be put on the screen is something that you could do for an entire year, which you would say new, or what you wouldn't even want to try now, okay? Because you know you couldn't keep it. All right. Use the thumbs up for new. All right. New. Thumbs down for nah. Okay. Super simple. Up is new. Nah is down. Thumbs down. Are you guys ready for the first question? Here we go. Go the entire year without eating a single piece of candy. Come on, in the comments, if you could go an entire year without eating a single piece of candy. New is thumbs up. I'll do that. Or, nah, I won't do that. Miss Stormy said, move that on this side. She said, nah, I need my candy. No. All right, okay. Miss Nicole, I think I'm with you. I think I can do this one. Lene said, nah. Makaya said, nah. Kiara said, nah. Mr. Ray said, nah. April said, nah. Bree said, nah. Nope. Jeremiah said, eh. Now, Mr. KJ, he said, I can do it. I'm with you. I'm noticing a trend. Zion Nadu said, no, I'm not doing it. Mr. Gary said, nah, I'm not doing it. Princess said, nah, give me some candy. Is it? Okay, so what's a candy that you can't do without? If it was me, like, what's going to be hard is I'm a Snickers person. But not the regular Snickers with the peanuts. I need the Snickers with the almonds. Now, that would be kind of difficult. But that's the only candy that I really, really dig. I'm not really into the other candies. Mr. Kelly said, eh. Jeremiah said he's all about the chocolate. You know? Chocolate. Miss Stormy said chocolate. Almond Joy. I've never had an Almond Joy. Wow. I'm at the chocolate or sweet tart chews. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so I got, okay, Mr. KJ said he's a Skittles guy. Mr. Damari, he probably don't even eat candy anyway, because he's, you know, but he said he could do it. See, this is what I'm thinking too. Gummy Bears, the gold pack. Man, I do like gummies too. I do like gummies. And Miss Nicole, I like Reese's too. Or the red bag of Skittles. See, I like the sour Skittles. Like, I'm cool with those. But see, y'all running up that dentist bill. That's what Mr. Jamario said. That's why he just stays away. I get you. Chocolate and sweet tarts. All right, second question. Are you guys ready for new or nah? Here we go. I have braces. It wouldn't bother me. Okay, not lie and pretend I'm sick so I can stay home from school. I can commit to that, or nah, I can't commit to that. And then for us adults, we can say pretend and stay home from work. All right, we'll just say work. We can do that. We ain't gonna do that. So not lie and pretend that I'm sick so I can stay at home from school. Jeremiah said, nah, I gotta save that one. I gotta do that. Lene said, I can do that. I can do that. Mr. Jamario said, nah, I can't do it. Nah, I gotta. Makaya said, nah. Bree said, I could definitely do that. Miss Stormy said, nah, I can do that. I can tell the truth. Mr. Ray said, I can do that. Miss April said, no. Mr. KJ said 3. Nah. I gotta, every now and again, Zion said, hey, I could do that. Princess said, I can do that. All right. But Miss Nicole, she said, I gotta have that one day where I can just call and say, I'm sick. I think I got the fever, and but it's not coronavirus, okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I got you. Miss D said, no, I gotta have that sick day. Kyra said, yes, she said, yes, I could do that. All right. I get it. All right. Next question is, only use 4 pair of socks the total for the next 365 days. Only use 4 pair of socks total for the next 365 days. I will say no. Nah, I gotta have some pair of socks. Yeah, see, Jeremiah, I gotta have me a fresh pair of socks now. Jeremiah said no. Mr. KJ said no. Miss D said no. Mr. DeMario said no. I think this is gonna be unanimous. Kyra said no. Miss Ray said no. Makaya said no. Miss Stormy said no. Miss Nicole said no. Lene said, hey, I don't wear socks, so I'm good. All right. April said nah. Mr. Mario said yeah, I gotta have that fresh pair of socks. And Mr. KJ said I like a lot of crazy socks. I'm saying. Mr. Gary said no. Bree said I don't usually wear socks. I wear sandals a lot now. Okay, I got it. Zion said I gotta have some fresh pair of socks. All right. Here we go. Next question is exercise every single day for the next year. For the next 365 days, could you commit to working out each and every day? My heart, see, it's kind of like what the Bible says. My mind is willing, but my flesh is weak. But I'm gonna try. Lene said, I'm for it. See, I think this means Miss Nicole, exactly what I said, right? My spirit is willing, but my flesh is weak. I'm just gonna be honest. Mr. DeMario said that's the goal. All right, Mr. KJ, we know these guys right here. I'm gonna put them on the screen. Mr. DeMario and Mr. Kevin Jackson, they are what we call gym rats, okay? They just in the gym. Like, you gotta kick them at the gym. You know what I'm saying? They just love the gym. Okay, I don't know if they love the gym, but they in there. And they swole too. Mr. Barry too. I bet he would say, yeah, I'm in it. Bree said no. Miss DeWanda said no. See, he's got to show his guns right there, Mr. Jackson. April said I could probably do that. Alexis, let's see. We gotta hold each other accountable. DeMario, we're practicing consistency. Okay, Mr. Gary, so he said, yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. Miss Stormy said, nah. Princess said, yeah. Jeremiah, he said, so I guess it's a maybe. Mr. Cole, you're gonna have to tell me what that. You don't want to say nothing. Okay. Zion said I can do it. I'll go on a diet first. I do arm lifts. Okay. Barry probably in the gym right now. See, he ain't even he ain't even online yet because he's at the gym. Nah, just playing. But I get it. All right, here we go. Next question is, eat the exact same lunch every single day for the next year. Now, this one I gotta think about because it would be cool. I mean, you probably could do it. You probably could do it. You probably could do it. Yep. Eat the exact same lunch every day for the next year. Let's see. Jeremiah said nope. Lene said nope. Miss Nicole said nah. Micaiah said nah. Miss D laughed and then she said no. Serenity said can't do it. Bree said nope. Mr. DeMario said I like variety, so no thank you. Miss Stormy said nope. Mr. Gary said nope. Kyra said nope. April said no. Miss Saray said no. Mr. Gary said no way. Jose. Mr. KJ said I gotta mix it up, so no. Princess said over my dead body. So everybody just wants to try variety. Okay. All right. Next question. Give up Netflix Prime Video and Disney Plus for the next year and focus on reading more. Can you do it? I ain't even gonna try. Which one? You let me know. If you can give up Netflix, Prime Video, and Disney Plus to focus on reading more. Here we go. Lene said, nah. Mr. Cole, she said, I could do it. I could do it. Bree said, no. Miss DeWanda said, yeah, I could do it. Mr. Ray said, nah, Jeremiah said, I don't think I can do it. All right. Mr. DeMario said, he's gonna read about gym. He's gonna read gym books about the gym and how to, what workouts to do and all of that stuff. So, to get them muscles right here. Nah, I'm just playing. Makaya said, I can do that. Zion said, no. So Ray said, I need to have all of that. Kyra said, I don't know. I'm in the middle. Like, I get it. Yeah, I need a mental break. As long as it's not ESPN, Mr. KJ. Yeah. Oh, man. Can't do it. I already read. Mr. Gary said, nope, nah, nada. He said, nah, I ain't trying it. Princess said, no. April said, no. Kelly said, I could do it. All right, next question. Every meal for the next 12 months must contain a green vegetable. Some of you like vegetables. Some of you may not. So every meal must contain at least one green vegetable of your choice. Could you do it? Could you not do it? I'll give myself a thumbs up. I actually like green vegetables. Jeremiah said yep. Mr. DeMario said yep. Lene said yes. Kyra said yes. KJ said yes. Yes. It's a great idea. Makaya said yes. Miss Nicole said, count me in. I can do it. Bree said it just depends. Yeah, of course. Miss April said I can do it. Mr. Gary said, yup. Yes, that's a thumbs up. Like, actually, Miss Stormy, actually made that a rule in our house. Like, we gonna eat some vegetables. So, just getting a jump start. Princess said I could do it. Mr. Ray said, yeah, definitely a great idea. Mr. Nadu said, I can do that. Mr. DeMario got creative and put some lettuce, leaves in the comments. Oh, see that? It's easy. That's definitely easy. Miss DeWanda said, I can do it. But Stormy tried to put us on blast and say, but no one is eating them. Hey, ma'am, I ate cabbage for 2 or 3 days in a row. And we're only on the 10th of January. So I've been doing it. You just ain't participating. Miss Kiki said, gotta have them colors on the plates. Princess, I love your honesty. She said, I don't know, but I want pizza today. That's what I'm talking about. All right, last question, guys. Last question. Here we go. We'll stop putting empty juice and milk cartons in the back of the fridge or back into the fridge. We'll stop putting empty juice and milk cartons back in the fridge. See, Mr. DeMario? I need to hold her accountable. I've been doing it now. Right. Here we go. Miss Nicole said, Junior, do you do that? Jeremiah said, never have done that. Shots fired on somebody. Miss DeWanda said, I don't do that. People are calling Gary Jr. out. Come on. April said, I can do that. Lene said, I don't do that anyway. Kyra said, I don't do that. Mr. Jamario said he's going to work hard at not doing that. Gary said, help my kids, Lord. Oh, man. Miss Kiki says she wants to keep the peace, so no name calling. KJ said, I can never do that because Miss Bernita will get on him. I don't do it either because Miss Stormy, she'll call me out in a quick hot minute. Y'all seen it before. Makaya said Junior loves to do that. Mr. Gear said yes, he does. Miss Stormy, it ain't me, it's Evan. They coming for Gary Jr. Don't got no juice, but have sparkling water. Oh man, his phone is being fixed, so he's listening. Get your boy Cam. Come on, Cam. There's just a little bit that he might want to come back and get later. Yes, I can. Bree said, yes, I can do that. Mr. KJ said, yeah, I can't do that because I get put out the house. I get it. Oh, man. Guys, well, thank you guys for playing this game, New or Nah. We learned a lot about each other today. And Gary Jr., we're praying for you, man. You just don't put the milk back. If it's empty, just throw it away. It's easier. All right, guys. Well, we're going to dive into week number 2. I'm going to play this quick video, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to dive right in for the lesson for today. You guys ready? Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, grab your iPad, grab something to take notes on, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Beatrice, and I'm a junior. And this is where I live. If you'd look where I live, you'd think my life is pretty much like yours. But if you really knew me, you know there's more to the story. I'm a first-generation immigrant from Brazil, and that means that life in my house can be crazy and chaotic and a little bit unconventional. And for example, we speak Portuguese at my house, so it's not always super easy for my parents to figure out school stuff when it's in a different language. And sometimes at parties and stuff, I feel a little bit out of place and like I don't fit in, and even a little bit marginalized. But one thing I've learned from being in an immigrant family is to just embrace my identity, even if it's not like everyone else's, and to be confident in exactly who God made me to be. Hey, I get it, every family has a story, but you can't really know me until you know what it's like where I live. This isn't just my home, it's part of my story, and it's personal.
All right, guys. So we are in week number 2. Again, remember last week we talked about a relationship with Jesus is always personal. It's always personal, having a relationship with Jesus. Let me tell you what's not personal. All right, well, it is personal, but I'm always talking about these stories, right? And I'm going to start with another story this week. So it was about 4th or 5th grade. I went to this new this new elementary school, right? I met a lot of new people. One young lady in particular, she was just very quiet. I didn't even know her name till we got into like probably the last semester of the 5th grade. Like we sat next to each other. We were part of projects together and didn't really even know her name. She just didn't talk that much, right? And in 6th and 7th grade, I went to another school out of the district. We moved, and I came back to that group of schools that they're kind of sister schools where you kind of go from elementary, middle school, high school, kind of that deal, right? So I come back. We reunited in 8th grade, and 9th, 10th, and even in the 11th grade, we had geometry. No, not geometry. We had government. We had government together, right? And so she started to talk a little bit more, so I knew her name. We started talking or whatever, We went out on one date, one single date. That's all it took. One date. And so we're on this date, right? I don't have a lot of money. I'm working at a grocery store, so I don't have that much money. So I'm like, we're gonna go somewhere, just to kind of see, right? So we're going on a date. We're talking, right? And she was not what I thought she was, right? Like, when she ate, it was like you could the seafood, like you could see it, like chewing and talking while you chew. Like, I was not expecting this from this quiet girl, right? And she just surprised me, right? Like, just the manners, like the burping and the so it was just a bad experience, right? And I thought to myself, who is this girl? Like, this is not the girl that I met in the 4th grade that was so nice and quiet and just had her manners and just like, I don't know if she was just like, I'm just gonna go on this date to have this free food with this guy, and then I'm just gonna make him think that I'm a dirty, like, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I just did not know who it was. Like, I'm like shocked. I'm telling you, I was shocked. Like, just, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. And as I was remembering this story to share with you today, it just makes you count your blessings. God knows what he's doing. Like, I was just thinking, like, wow. But anyway, here's the whole point of that story, all right? You don't really know someone, right? You can hang out with someone, but that doesn't mean that you know them. And the same thing is true for us. You can hang out with people and still not have a lot of people who know who the real you is, or they really get who you are. For example, have you ever dealt with something or felt something that you simply just decided to keep it to yourself, right? Or did you share it and you felt like the people that you were talking to, they just drew a blank? For most of us, our friends, they probably get the real us, right? And some of you may have a bestie and you say, they just totally get me. And that's amazing. But it's possible not to have a lot of people around you. And here's a stat that I completely made up, but I think it's true. The majority of people don't feel like there's anyone who gets us 100%. Like 100%, not gets the social media us or the us that we post because we want to post the nice things, but the majority of people don't feel like there's anyone who gets us 100%. And I think that's totally normal, but sometimes it would be nice if more people just understood us, like all our quirks, all our interests, and all of our struggles, and even our fears. But instead, most of the time, we feel like no one gets us. And who else feels that way? Literally everybody. Okay, well, almost everybody. And the truth is that nobody gets me or nobody knows the real me feeling isn't easy to deal with. It's one of the reasons why this idea of being personal really matters so much. Because whether you knew this or not, I think this is important for you to write down. You are actually wired to be known. You are actually wired to be known, right? You were made to have somebody who gets you, who understands you, who knows what your real world is like. And this, my friends, brings us back to a guy named Zacchaeus, right? So last week we started talking about this encounter that Jesus had with this man named Zacchaeus. The Gospel of Luke is the only gospel that tells us the story of Zacchaeus. And there's a reason for that. Luke was writing to mostly not Jewish audience. The first followers of Jesus were Jewish. So they kind of figured that everyone who followed Jesus would have been Jewish. But Jesus was for anyone with any background, right? So it was natural for not Jewish people to feel like they just didn't quite fit in. So in Luke's gospel, there are a lot of stories about people who didn't feel like they fit in. It's easy to imagine that all of these people that Luke were talking about just felt like they were misplaced. But he wanted his readers to see how Jesus treated people like them. So Luke shares this story of Zacchaeus, who, like we talked about last week, was on the outside of the group. He was a Jewish tax collector, which was a horrible thing to be. And the short version, he was a sellout and he was a traitor. But then Jesus comes to town, and everybody is dying to meet him. And by this point, Jesus was well known. He was famous. He had people looking, following him and watching him. And people wanted to know, because they were so intrigued about Jesus. He said this, or, people would think this: I want to follow Jesus to see if the rumors of what people are saying, if he's really like that, right? People were following Jesus, and they wondered, is he like the rumors say he is? Or is he really healing people and performing miracles, right? And is he really challenging the powers in charge, right? And people were curious. People wanted to know, so they followed Jesus. Everyone wanted to see what Jesus was like, and Zacchaeus was no different. He showed up to get a better view, because Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. He climbed a tree so he can get a higher view, because that would help. But also, I imagine Zacchaeus wasn't sure how Jesus was going to feel about a guy like him, a guy who collected taxes for the Romans, and probably, more than likely, I'm pretty sure he collected extra for himself. And Jesus looked out for the poor and the mistreated people, and nobody was better at mistreating them or making them poor than Zacchaeus. So I imagine he wasn't looking to stand out. He just wanted to fit into the crowd. He just wanted to see what all the commotion was about. But the craziest thing happened. Jesus looks up to see him in a tree, and he calls him out, and then invites himself over to Zacchaeus' house for dinner. Again, we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 19, starting with verse number 5. It says, when Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him being Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. Right? We hear that and we think, okay, that's kind of bold. Like, imagine right now in this live video, I'd say, Mr. KJ, I am coming over to your house because I must feast with you and Miss Bernita. Okay? I'm coming over, right? With no warning. That would be kind of like, you're coming over? Like, oh, okay, right? But in the context of this culture, listen, it was an honor for someone to have you over for dinner, right? Because here's what it meant in that culture. Having someone in your home sent a message of friendship. Mr. DeMario said, I told him that yesterday. You try to invite yourself over, right? Mr. Cole said, you don't say that to the Lord, because he's like, I'm coming over. Oh, for real? Just because Mr. KJ is a good guy, I know he'd say, come on. But having someone over your house sent a message of friendship, right? And so Zacchaeus wasn't sitting in the tree thinking, man, Jesus is rude, right? For inviting himself over. He was most likely sitting in that tree thinking, I can't believe Jesus would want to have dinner with someone like me. And he announced it loud enough for everyone in the crowd to hear. In fact, Luke continues to write in verse number 6. So he, Zacchaeus, came down at once and welcomed him being Jesus, gladly. Right? And so why did Jesus invite himself over? Why would Jesus invite himself over? Listen, because Jesus cared about what Zacchaeus cared about. And even though it didn't seem like it on the outside, listen, this is what Zacchaeus really cared about. He cared about belonging. He cared about belonging. He cared about being accepted, right? He cared about being seen. Zacchaeus cared about belonging. He cared about being accepted. He cared about being seen. And listen, Zacchaeus cared about being known. That's some of us, right? Watch this. And you're probably thinking, like, how do you know that? Is that in the Bible too? No, well, no. But Zacchaeus was human, and we literally all want all of those things, right? And you definitely want it more when you don't feel like you belong anywhere, right? Zacchaeus lived a life of an outsider. Listen, he was a Jewish man. He didn't fit in with the Romans, even though he worked for them. He didn't fit in with the Jewish neighbors because he taxed them on the behalf of the Romans. You see, Zacchaeus wasn't just climbing a tree to see Jesus. He was climbing a tree to see if he mattered to Jesus and to see if Jesus knew what mattered to him. Man, that's so powerful. Zacchaeus was climbing up that tree to see if he mattered to Jesus and to see if Jesus knew what mattered to him. And don't miss this, it surprised everyone that people didn't expect a friendship to form between Jesus and this local outcast. They liked Jesus and wanted to be around him, but they didn't like Zacchaeus. In fact, they probably thought that they already knew everything there was to know about Zacchaeus. As a tax collector, they knew exactly what he was and what he was like, and didn't want anything to do with Zacchaeus, but not Jesus. Jesus knew that just because Zacchaeus had the label of a tax collector, it didn't tell the whole story about who he was. And it turns out Jesus knew Zacchaeus better than anyone around him did. Jesus understood Zacchaeus. He understood that he just wanted to belong. And Jesus went over to the place to show him that he did. Are you catching this? If you've ever wondered what Jesus thinks about you, the story of Zacchaeus hopefully is an encouragement. But maybe you've always felt like there were certain things that mattered to Jesus, right? For example, maybe you thought that Jesus cared about your Bible reading, but not your grades. Maybe you've thought that before. Maybe you've thought that Jesus cares about praying, but not about your friendships. I know you've thought about this. Jesus cares about holy stuff, but not real life stuff. Jesus cares about your cussing, but not your anxiety. Jesus cares about your obedience, but not your relationship with your dad. Maybe you've thought that Jesus cares about your sexual purity, but not about your dating relationships. Right? But this is the way I want you to think about what we just shared today. I want you to write this down. It's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. It's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. It matters because Jesus knows your name, but it also matters because Jesus knows what matters to you. You know, I don't know about you, but that's not the image of Jesus that I grew up with, right? That's not what I thought he was like. The personal Jesus surprised Zacchaeus and definitely shocked the people around Zacchaeus. And chances are there are a lot of people around you every day who would never guess that Jesus is this interested in them, right? And so this week, I want to challenge you to try both of these ideas. Two ideas that I want to share with you today that I want you to write down. And not only do I want you to write them down, but I want you to somehow apply them to your life this week to make it personal. Here we go. You ready? Number one, this is what I want you to do. Talk to Jesus about what matters to you. Talk to Jesus about what matters to you. Listen, here's the reality. He already knows what matters to you, but talk to him about it. Jesus cares about what you care about. So start there. Pray about it. Share it with him. Let him know the things that you like. Let him know the things that you worry about. Tell him about the things that bring you life, and tell him the things that about the things that drain you. Jesus is never bored hearing from you about you. I know, so people can get bored. Like, just imagine me having a conversation with you and I'm just talking about me. Me. You're probably gonna be like, man, who cares? Can't we just go eat lunch, right? Or who cares? I gotta go. Like, my mom is calling me right now. I gotta go, right? But Jesus doesn't get bored hearing from you about you, because it's personal to him. He cares about you. So talk to Jesus about what matters to you. Number 2, talk to others about what interests them. Right? When it came to Zacchaeus, it wasn't personal for the crowd he was in. You know, they made assumptions about Zacchaeus. They didn't know the real him, or they didn't even give him a chance to get to know him. But Jesus was the only one who knew what really mattered to Zacchaeus. And that was a sense of belonging, right? It's possible there are people that you've made assumptions about too. People who you think that you know who they are. They can't change, but you've never made it personal. Maybe this week you can make it personal by being intentional and discovering the things others like. You know, let go of the idea that that you know them, right? And do for someone what Jesus did for Zacchaeus, right? Watch, listen. In a letter that was written to the church in Philippi, the Apostle Paul writes about this very idea. Listen to what he says in Philippians chapter 2, verse number 3 and 4. Listen to what it says. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself. Again, rather in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interest of others. I'm going to read that one more time just so that it sinks in. Rather in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking for your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others, right? Look out for the interests of others, which might mean, I wrote a couple of these down, it might mean this: you ask your friends questions and you listen to their answers. How many of you guys have asked questions, but you didn't care to hear their answer? Right? So ask your friends a question and listen to their answer. You know, you play something that your little brother loves to play. Like Mario. Evan, we got him these Mario Uno cards, right? And he's just all about Mario and Baby Yoda. Like those are his things right now, right? And so that could mean for some of us, you know, to play with our younger siblings, in my case, my son, and play something that he likes to play, right? Just making it personal. Go watch your friend play their sport, even if you have no clue on what's going on. All right, now I'm just going to share something with you because we're being personal. So you're going to learn something personal about me. Like maybe, I'm not a huge soccer fan. Now I know that's a big shocker, but I'm just not a big soccer fan. I don't know the rules. And to me, there's just a lot of running involved, and I'm just not into like nonstop running. I like to like basketball. Like you can run down the court, and then I just like to sit on the 3-point line, Mr. KJ. I just like to sit on the 3-point line for a little bit, catch my breath, and then then kind of keep moving. But soccer is like nonstop 90 minutes, and then not only that, but they don't stop at the 90 minutes. They keep going. I just don't get the rules. But to make it personal, go watch your friend play something that you have no clue. No sport, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what they used to call me, cherry picker, Mr. DeMario. That's right. Oh yeah. Okay, another one. You make an effort to include that kid who's a grade younger than you. You know how important that is. When somebody older takes an interest in you being younger, that means the world to people. And then, I wrote this wrong, but this is what I mean. You get to know who someone really is. Get to know who someone really is. Get to know who someone really is. From there, Paul goes on to talk about the character of Jesus and what Jesus was really like. Paul said, make Jesus the model, right? Because that's exactly what Jesus was like. He was selfless. He looked out for the interest of others. And we should do the exact same thing. This is what makes us stand out as people who follow him, right? Everybody needs somebody who knows their name and knows them personally. Write that down. Everybody needs somebody to know their name and know them personally. But I want you to think about something this week. Do you really know what matters to the people around you? Do you really know what matters to the people around you? Have you taken the time to get to know them personally? Right? Man. You know, when we take the time to make it personal with others, we are living like Jesus. Jesus was never satisfied by making a judgment about a person from far away. He got close to them. He got close to them to listen to them. He took time, and he never let a label or an assumption form his opinion. He cared about what mattered to others because they mattered to him. So last thing I'm going to say before we head out today. It's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. It's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. Now you have the chance to go and do the same for others. We can do it. Just follow Jesus' example. He made things personal and he's the model, right? Yeah. And so this is so important. And I pray that you guys got the message today. You know, again, it's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. He knows what matters to you. So go to him, talk to him, and go do what Jesus did. He made things personal with the people he interacted with. Go and do the same. We can do it. Don't be scared. You got it in you. That's what my pastor said. She wrote a book about it. You got it in you. So let's go and do the same. Listen, before we leave, I want to encourage you guys to jump on. We have about a little over an hour to go and do whatever. Eat brunch. Go outside and play in the snow. I forgot it's not snowing where you guys are. But I'm going to take Evan outside for a little bit. And then we're going to go to small groups at noon. And I want everybody to get involved. I want you to jump on with us today in our small groups. Listen, small groups are so important, right? To me, like, I feel like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. I feel like the word is like the entree, right? It's the main course. But small groups is the dessert. Right? And how many of you like to eat dessert first? You know what I'm saying? Like, you love dessert. Like, I'll eat this, but I would really want this. Right? I really want dessert. I want that piece of chocolate cake. Right? Right? They just go together. And what we try to do is try to mimic what we were doing when we were in person, give you the message, and then we dive into small groups, dive into conversation, get to know each other. Listen, this is what we're doing. We are making it personal in our small groups. Like, I get to see your comments. I get to see them. Your peers get to see them. Listen, there's just something about when we get to see each other and listen. And I know it's different. But trust me, let's make the most of this time. Small groups are amazing. I want each and every one of you to jump on small groups. Listen, parents, if you're watching me and you want your student to be a part of small group, please just send me an email. pgalindo@tphnd.org. I'd love to send you the information. I'm gonna put it in here real quick. I hope I spell it right because I do have a tendency not to spell things right, but that is right. That's my email address, guys. Send me an email, parents. I'd love to send you the information so that your students can participate in small groups. We just kind of dive into conversation about the message, and we get to just again make it personal. Our ministry is about making it personal. What matters to you? Because we know that it matters to Jesus and it matters to us as leaders. We love you guys. I'm going to say a word of prayer. I'm going to let you guys go. God, we thank you for this word. Your word never returns back to you void, but it accomplishes everything that you sent it out to do. Father, I've tried to do my best to share this message in a way that you shared it with me. So I pray that there was a word, something that was said, something that was spoken, or even something that was demonstrated that would stick with us today to challenge us to remember that you made it personal because you care about what matters to us, and it's our opportunity to do the same for others. We love you. And we just want to thank you for this time. I pray for our small group time as well, that it just be an amazing time of getting to know each other, making things personal with one another. We love you. We celebrate you. We honor you. Bless our pastor. Bless Bishop Joby Brady. Bless our founders, Bishop TD and First Lady Sarita Jakes. Bless them, God. Continue to protect them. Keep them away from harm, God. We just thank you for leaders like that we have that are just there for us, God, to show us the way. And we just thank you for this opportunity to share virtually. We love you, we honor, we celebrate you. In Jesus' name, everybody said, amen. Amen. You guys have a great week. Listen, I'll see you in a little bit less than an hour. I love you guys. Have a great week. God bless you. See you next time.